Boy howdy. So after my last video where I proposed to you that Charlie may still be alive and kicking around somewhere, that made a lot of you angry.
Charlie died in FNAF 6 Henry release term.
Life isn't that easy, and Scott is not that nice. Purely because I was told that Charlie's not alive, I have dedicated myself the past few days to not only proving that Charlie may still be alive, but I've also gone one step further, and I put to you that not only is Charlie alive, but in the future of FNAF, she is going to have a showdown with none other than Elizabeth Afton. Firstly, let's address the elephant in the room. It's quite easy, in my mind, for Charlie to be alive. You have Michael Afton, who became Glitchtrap. How did he do that? He did that through circuit boards. We're presuming that after the FNAF 6 fire, somebody came along, gathered up those circuit boards, cut corners, and they uploaded as much of that data into the Help Wanted VR, AR, whatever you want to call it, system. Now, if William's data made it in there, not necessarily his soul, but his data that was in the remnants, quite easily, any of the other animatronics in that fire could have been scanned in. So that's the first one. You can't pick and choose what you believe. If you believe that William has been scanned into this AI, VR, AR system, well then you kind of have to agree that Charlie, Elizabeth, these other entities were easily scanned in too. In Help Wanted, Tape Girl says that she doesn't know how the data's taking hold of the system, but it does. That says to me that if they don't know how the data's spreading throughout the system, it's nothing that can be grounded in physical electronic engineering. It's something that these engineers employed to do this job are looking at and going, how the hell is this data spreading? So to not understand means that there has to be something attached there which is not strictly electrical. It's not strictly physics-based. Whether it's a soul, whether it's the AI learnings, something is going on that they cannot comprehend and are not equipped to deal with. So from here, we know that William's data, it goes on and it becomes Glitchtrap. Glitchtrap then takes control of Vanessa, who then implements the AR network throughout the Pizzaplex. But I was a bit hung up on how Glitchtrap has taken control of Vanessa, and I wanted to marry some things together. In Help Wanted, we see that Jeremy, or rather we hear that Jeremy, the beta tester, goes through a similar experience. He integrates into this system, he's testing it, he's having a good time. When he comes out of it, he's a bit NQR, he's a bit not quite right, he's left of center, he doesn't feel himself. The guillotine gets involved, the man dies, it's all a bloody mess. That says to me that something in that VR connected with him outside of the game. Something influenced his human brain. We have a similar thing come up in the most recent book, Tiger Rock, where a young boy named Kai enters into a VR game in the Pizzaplex. Spoiler alert, Kai actually gets trapped in the VR for 5 hours, and he has to basically perform self-rescue, in which he blasts his way through the VR and out the other side. But when he gets out, it's like, whew, end of story, that was a bit rough. He goes home, thinks, I might sleep this off, I've had a bit of a journey today. He goes home, and then Tiger Rock, the sort of AI version of an animatronic in the VR system, in the real world, bursts in through his window, rips his arms off, hightails it out of there. So you're kind of left thinking, well, is this an Inception layered thing? Was he still in the VR? I don't think he was. I don't know what physically took place, but let's look at it this way. In Ruin, you can put on the AR mask and you can walk through physical objects somehow. Like, that's a fact. There's a barrel in your way, AR mask, walk through. So what's to say that the blending of these AR and these physical worlds, that they're not quite obeying the laws of physics? Jeremy had Afton up here. Hey, go make a mess of things with yourself. Which means once Vanessa, Tape Girl, has come out of there, she's still got the old Afton up here. who's saying, hey, go get a job at security at the Pizzaplex. While you're at it, build this AR system, build this rabbit mask allowing you to move through my AR world. Design this whole thing. Here's the schematics. I'll put them in your head. And as I'm speaking, this makes even more sense because at the end of Ruin, once Vanessa's freed from the system, she still retains the knowledge and events. And Gregory even says that she has the building schematics. Now, I doubt when Gregory and Vanny were running out of the building that she thought, oh, hold on, I've got to pop to the office and grab the schematics and then we'll go. No, what happened was those schematics are right up here and they are not leaving. She's free from the system and free from influence, but it is still in there, meaning there was a hardwired connection between Vanny's mind and the AR network. All of this is a roundabout way of saying Vanessa setting all of this up under the guise of, William Afton. I believe that the puppet has been scanned in and has made its way into the AR system and reflected itself in those black and white wires we see in the original security breach. There's one more thing that really got to me. One more thing that stood out, and that's the fact that when you're collecting all of the little AR collectibles, the plushies and so forth, in Ruin, every character you collect is in that Pizzaplex. So you've got Bonnie, you've got Freddy, you've got Chica, you've got all of these suspects. You've even got Foxy, who you say, oh, Foxy wasn't in it. Well, guess what? There's a log ride that was never opened. However, it is Foxy themed. Then you've got obviously Glamrock, Roxy, and all of the usual suspects, Sun and Moon. Nobody else is in there because they're not in the game, except for a Night Marionette plushie and a baby plushie. What are they doing there? Why are they a collectible when everybody else is in the game and they're not? Because they are in the game. More on that in a minute. I was actually going to end this theory here just by saying, hey, I think that's enough evidence to sort of support that Charlie would still be alive. But now for the saucy part. This is where we go off the rails and the internet gets angry at me. So not only is Charlie alive, but I do believe she's going to face off with Elizabeth. Well, let's presume Baby has been scanned in as well. Elizabeth has been scanned in. Well, this is why we would see those baby plushies flashing around in that one room randomly. Why would you put that in the game if not but to denote some sort of presence? They also have the illuminated eyes, and as we saw with Bonnie, with Glamrock Bonnie, eyes on means alive, eyes off means deactivated, whatever you want to call it. Presence, no presence. The eyes on those plushies are illuminated. Now we don't see Roxy because obviously she's got no eyes. We only really see this with Glam Rock Bonnie, and obviously Freddy has no head. They're very clever the way they do this. Now here's something else to chew on. The only other collectibles in that set are a comedy mask and a tragedy mask. Two opposing forces as old as history itself. The Protector, the Destroyer, the Good, the Evil. Same as Tiger Rock. One blue eye, one green eye. The Protector, the Destroyer. I believe the Tiger Rock eyes are hinting towards there being multiple entities sort of present within the one system. AR, VR, AI, whatever you want to call it, multiple entities being present within the one network. So it's worth noting that in Tiger Rock, as Kai pushes through that VR barrier to escape, he actually notices a little blonde girl standing with a bearded man. A little blonde girl with messy hair, I believe it is, which the only blonde little girl we know of in this series is Elizabeth Afton. So making a connection between a VR world, AR world, whatever you want to call it, and Elizabeth Afton is very on the nose. If I've given you enough to say, okay, Charlie might be alive, and I've given you enough to say, okay, well, Baby might be alive, well, how are they going to fight? Well, here's where you're really going to be upset with me, because I believe that the entity or the learnings within the Mimic, however that technology is working, I don't believe that may be William Afton. I believe that is Elizabeth Afton. And not only any Elizabeth in one of her most vile, vengeful forms, one of her most manipulative forms, and that is luring others to the Pizzaplex for some nefarious purpose to make Daddy proud, luring someone to the pizzaplex. If that version of Elizabeth got scanned in and is within the mimic, what's the mimic going to copy? What behaviors is it going to copy? And you couple this with the fact that the mimic is actually wearing stitched together pieces of mascot clothing. And a closer look at those mascots, they do resemble circus animals, specifically the one that's very on the nose, the elephant wearing circus clothes. Wink wink, circus babies. And to actually bring this back to Tiger Rock for a little bit more supporting evidence, during Kai's escape through that VR system again, when he sees the blonde little girl, he also sees a strange looking doll with a bulging eyeball and features that are all wrong. Sound familiar? So entertain me here for a moment. If I've given you enough to say, okay, so Elizabeth's the mimic, how is Charlie going to fight her? Where's Charlie? Well, I believe they've already been in a fight, because I believe that Charlie is in Roxy. And this one doesn't have as much evidence, aside from the fact that Charlie, the protector, is established as a green colour. When you put on the VR headset and look at Roxy, she is green. Her hair is green. She is as green can be. Green is her colour. And as far as I remember, I actually think the game avoids you seeing other animatronics in AR, sort of to mask this in ambiguity a bit. Bar the only one I can think of is Chica. And when you look at Chica in VR mode, she's nothing special. She's just that pinkish AR outline, because the whole AR system is pinky purple. It's just that same outline. All it is as if she was a table or a chair or a box in the way. She blends in with the background. Nowhere near what Roxy is with that green. This would also explain why once Roxy is deactivated, she's able to come back to life. I mean, you deactivate Bonnie, the lights go off, done. When you deactivate Roxy and take the mask off, she doesn't have eyes. We cannot tell what's actually going on there. So let's say that I've given you enough here to say that, okay, maybe Charlie is in Roxy. Elizabeth has lured people to the pizzaplex as she was doing as baby. She's now chasing after Cassie. She's then confronted by the protector, the one protecting Cassie, Charlie, in Roxy. They're having a bit of a biff. She wants to do everything she can to protect Cassie. William versus Henry. Elizabeth versus Charlie. Comedy, tragedy, good, evil. It's all there. A story as old as time. Subscribe for more FNAF theories, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.